Continue.
And analysts working on this matter the ability to proceed with their work expeditiously and to make decisions indisputably guided only by the facts and the law. The men and women undertaking this investigation are public servants who have dedicated their careers to protecting the citizens of this country. The appointment of Mr. Weiss reinforces for the American people the department's commitment to both independence and accountability in particularly sensitive matters.
I like that it's never, let me tell you something. Okay. First of all, most agents, most FBI people, most prosecutors, okay, most judges, due to the Federalist Society and Republican court stacking, are almost always right-wing, okay? Even if they are supposedly liberal, they're the type of liberal that, loves Ronald Reagan. And most of the time they voted for Republican candidates. They voted for Republican presidents. Now, this is a constant, okay? This is a consistent concept throughout time. And yet, Republicans will always act like whenever a otherwise Republican judge is serving the top of the hour ad break, they'll say, no shot, we're not watching 3 minutes of ads. That's what they'll say. But listen, you don't have to watch those 3 minutes of ads. All you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. I'm fucking back. Okay, we're back. I'm back. I'm on my groove again. Okay, fuck. At the top of the hour, there's 3 minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime or by getting gifted a sub. Here's the 3 minute ad break now. Now my dad is walking around the house yelling my mom's name, trying to find her in the house. This is awesome. But listen, what was I saying? Okay, so Republicans act like unless you have a dude who's just like an openly psychotic, like out and about pro-Trump guy that is straight up just saying like, no, I think Hunter Biden is like doing cocaine with Joe Biden. Unless that guy is appointed as a special prosecutor onto a criminal misconduct case that pertains to a Democrat, they are never going to be happy. It don't matter. All these guys, including Jim Comey, Mueller, all these guys were all Republican, and they acted like these guys were all libtards, okay? In their minds, in the minds of the Republican Party, it straight up doesn't matter if you have voted Republican your whole life, okay? It doesn't matter if you are voting Republican your whole life, but also have like this, moral compass or a profound sense of justice or whatever, because a lot of these dudes do care. They are institutionalists, unless they are Supreme Court justices, in which case they do not care for the most part. A lot of these people do care about like following the letter of the law, right? To a certain degree. If they prosecute a Republican candidate or Republican president or anything like that, then all of a sudden they're like, well, I don't care if you care about the rule of the law. You're a fucking piece of shit. You're no longer a Republican. You're a libtard. We need a guy who won't do that. That's the point. Make no mistake, okay? That's it. In this situation, I'm happy with the special prosecutor. It's fine. But also, it's only being done to shut Republicans the fuck up who will not shut up regardless. You know what I mean? Like, I have no issues with avoiding improprieties or even like looking like you are one-sided on the circumstance, especially because it is the president's son, right? But it's just hilarious to me that part of the reason why this special counsel is being appointed, and it's one that the Republicans will be, I guess, quote unquote, comfortable with, is so that the Republicans will shut the fuck up and be like, okay, it's fine. You know, we got real justice could be potentially served here. But that's never going to happen. They probably are bitching about the special counsel too. There it is. Okay, there you go. Smith, I think that this should be concerning to all Americans. This is an attempt to whitewash the Biden family corruption. I'm very fearful that appointing the special counsel is just an attempt to stonewall Congress's investigation of the Biden family.
What's your reaction to it? And jumping on the breaking news with us. First, what is your reaction to it?
It's great to be with you, Sandra. I think that this should be concerning to all Americans, that this is an attempt to whitewash the Biden family corruption. I mean, Mr. Weiss is the single architect over that sweetheart plea agreement deal that the judge in Delaware threw out just a few weeks ago as saying it was awful and unfair. There were provisions within that sweetheart plea deal that granted complete immunity to Hunter Biden for these crimes and future crimes. And she even stated that she's never seen anything like that before. And who was the architect of that? Now the person who, Garland, who President Biden's Justice Department just appointed to be special counsel. I am very fearful that appointing the special counsel is just an attempt to stonewall.
The right acts like Hunter Biden's case will cause Joe to resign or get impeached. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, even if Hunter Biden goes to jail, right? Even if he goes to jail, who gives a shit? The fuck? This case doesn't have anything to do, like his separate case, okay? His separate case involving his lying on a form to purchase a weapon while he was still and also having a gun when he was clearly under the influence. Like, all of these things that Republicans normally think is a God-given right for every red-blooded American patriot, by the way, and then some, they're now super mad about. Okay, they're like, wait a minute, he did tax evasion and also had a gun when he shouldn't. Hello, throw the book at him. And I'm like, do you hear yourself? Like, you want to throw this guy in jail over the two things that you love doing the most, okay, which is waving a weapon around under the influence and also being allowed to have a gun when you shouldn't have a gun is like a fundamental plank in the conservative mindset, okay? Tax evasion on top of that is like you just created the conservative starter pack. Just put a little bit of failing to pay child support and domestic abuse on there, and Hunter Biden is like the greatest hog of all time, right? I mean, straight up, this is like the conservative bingo. Drunk driving, having a gun when you're not supposed to, tax evasion, beating your fucking wife, and not paying child support is the 5 pillars of conservatism in the United States of America. Okay? It's perfect. Like, is he running for office in Florida? Because I feel like you need to do those as a check mark. Those are like your objectives when you start in the tutorial mission as a Republican who wants to become a congressperson in the state of Florida. That's what you got to do. Well, Florida's a little bit different. You also have to engage in a little bit of pedophilia. And as far as we understand, conservatives claim Hunter has done that, but there's no evidence for that whatsoever. He's only had sex with the most 35-year-old looking prostitutes I've ever seen. But you made it sound like he beat his wife. Oh, yeah, he did not. He did not. As far as I know, he has not engaged in domestic abuse. Maybe that's the reason why conservatives don't see him as one of their own. Okay? So all of this stuff is just like things that they're freaking out about, but none of this actually touches Joe Biden. What they want to do is make it seem like him and Joe Biden were doing dealings together, side by side, in Burisma, in Ukraine, in China. That's what they want to make it seem like, but they don't have enough evidence to make it seem like that. So now they're just like, pumping this side of the equation. Don't forget he fucked his brother's widow. Okay, to be fair, that is like Christ-like. That is the most Christ-like thing you can do. That's straight up in the Bible, dog. Hayır, olması lazım. Bok yedik. Bir tane daha ederim o zaman. Olması lazım. Yok mu? Buldun mu? Doesn't the Bible mandate it? Yeah, that is the most biblical thing you can do.
Congress's investigation of the Biden family.
And jumping on the breaking news.
So, do I think Hunter Biden should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Fox News guy said plea included all future crimes. They really think their audience is stupid. No, you can get a plea bargain like that. You know who else got a plea bargain like that? If there's like additional investigations being conducted. That is it's like a double jeopardy extension. I guess it goes beyond a double jeopardy, but yeah, you can try and cut a plea bargain deal like that. It's given to corrupt nepo babies usually. But that, of course, does not imply that there is like additional misdeeds that are occurring that they are trying to get away with. But ultimately, I don't mind, I don't mind this prosecution. I don't mind him getting like I don't mind him getting actually clapped up for doing things that he's not supposed to do. I hope that we extend this level of care and consideration to all the children of Washington, D.C. vampires. But none of this touches Joe Biden. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, Republicans don't really care about Hunter Biden doing all this stuff. They just want to attack Joe Biden, right? And they want to utilize this as a line of attack against Joe Biden. They want to make it seem like, well, Hunter Biden and Joe Biden actually were, cooking this up together. He's the big guy, right? There was kickbacks happening, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is, as far as we've seen, there has been no evidence of that whatsoever. And the Republicans overall have done something that you normally wouldn't do if you had good evidence. Think about it this way. The UAP stuff, right? They didn't have like airtight evidence, but they had a qualified witness who was, at least in my opinion, willing to lie in front of Congress. So they televised that. They televised that congressional hearing. So why are they cooking up closed-door meetings on this Hunter Biden situation? Because if you think they had some real juice that could genuinely hurt Joe Biden, if they had real evidence that Joe Biden was getting kickbacks from Hunter Biden, blah, 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 they would televise the fuck out of it. They wouldn't hold closed-door hearings. They wouldn't try to massage the narrative. They wouldn't try to, feed misinformation to the Fox News crowd. They would just straight up let you see it. They would rip into Hunter Biden. They would rip into the other witnesses. They would cross-examine them openly in public in broad daylight. That's great clippage. That's really good for all of the Republicans in that committee. That's really good stuff overall, right? Like, that's great. You want to look like you're tough on the Biden crime family, right? You want the people to know. Now, the real reason why they're doing the closed door stuff, the real reason why they're doing those meetings and those hearings behind closed doors, so they can kind of lie about it, massage the truth a little bit, release a narrative that is better. But of course, when you do that, it's not as exciting. So you're not going to be able to legitimately get people excited and care about it. Do you see what I mean? Let's hear what Nikki Haley has to say about the Hunter Biden situation.
Chuck Grassley there at the state fair.
I personally think this is a losing issue for them too, to like constantly talk about Hunter Biden. I think it's a losing issue. It's not entertaining enough. Every time they talk about Hunter Biden, he looks cool for the most part. And ultimately, you could just say, yeah, he's a fuck up. He's a fail son. But what does this have to do with Joe Biden? Why are you using so much government resources to prosecute, investigate, and jail one fucking nepotism recipient, failed child who, did crack and did everything, basically, right? But ultimately, you're talking about a person, like a child that is the son of a president, but not the president himself. And also, a lot of people have fuck ups in their families. Maybe not fuck ups to that degree, or maybe not fuck ups with like any kind of capability of trafficking in the name of their laundering their family name to get like significant benefits, like being able to go and work at Burisma for a 6-figure salary with no actual business interest or no actual knowledge in the field of energy. But it doesn't matter, you know. Don't the optics of having closed-door meetings also benefit the conspiracy theories that Biden won't allow the people to see the meetings? No, absolutely not. It's Republican run. They're the ones who are making it closed-door meetings. Are you crazy? Yeah. Anyway.
Reacting to the news, how are you responding?
I don't trust it. I don't think the American people trust it. I don't think that the American people trust the Department of Justice or anything this is going to do. I think that this was meant to be a distraction. It's not a distraction. I think the Bidens are on a sinking ship. And I think this is our opportunity to make sure not only that we get a new president in the White House, but that we go and we clean house in the Department of Justice while we're at it.
Mike Pence, Chuck Grassley there at the State Fair, reacting to the news. How are you responding?
That's great. It's not a distraction, I swear. I think it all seems a bit conspiracy theory insanity to the normals. Well, I would say this much. I think like the average conservative, because they watch so much Fox News, probably has like an opinion on this that's not favorable, understandably. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, it's kind of fucked up what Biden has done. It seems like there's a lot of nepotism going on, which is true. That part is real. That part is absolutely 100% true. Hunter Biden had no business getting money from Chinese emissaries. Hunter Biden had no business getting a job at Burisma. He got all of that shit because his last name is Biden and his daddy was vice president at the time. Okay? 100%. Now, that in and of itself, unfortunately, is not illegal. Okay? I wish for a world where that would be illegal. You know what I mean? No Jared Kushner in the White House. No Donald Trump Jr. You know what I mean? Like all of the nepotism children would go away, except, you know, that's like 98% of young DC weirdos is like, related to in some way, shape, or form to another senator or to another congressperson. So that's not happening anytime soon. Wait, is politics all about reacting to other people? Isn't this a big issue? What about the IP? How are you reacting? How are you reacting to this? What? What's happening? What is happening today? Anyway. So overall, good that they have a special counsel appointed here to combat any kind of like narrative that there is some serious corruption going on. You know what I mean?
I am confident that Mr. Weiss will carry out his responsibility in an even-handed and urgent manner and in accordance with the highest traditions.
Yeah, bro said you're stealing from Merrick Garland. How is that allowed? That's the Department of Justice, my dude. Like,
of this department. Thank you.
If you as Attorney Weiss had the authorities he needed,
you just heard their Attorney General Merrick Garland making a very significant announcement at the Department of Justice that there will be now a special counsel looking into the Hunter Biden matter. It is the same individual, the U.S. Attorney in Delaware, who has been investigating. What it means, though, is that David Weiss, who is the, again, U.S. Attorney in Delaware who's been investigating, will now have more powers than a typical U.S. attorney. It is important to also note that what the Attorney General said was that this is at the request of David Weiss. He requested the powers of the special counsel. A lot to unpack here. I believe that we have Kara Sennell to talk about what this means. Kara, take it away.
Yeah, Dana, I mean, an unexpected announcement today by the Attorney General Merrick Garland appointing David Weiss, who has been overseeing this investigation, as a special counsel. So as Garland said, that will allow David Weiss.
I don't know. Like, who do they want? like who do they want? The Republicans, I mean, like who would they be comfortable with if they were the ones? If Donald J. Trump should be the special counsel appointed to this. Like, is that? We should have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has no legal education whatsoever, to be the special counsel appointed here so that she can kill him with a Beretta 50 cal, and that would be justice. And then she also shoots through him. She like lines up a Beretta 50 cal and shoots through both Hunter and Joe Biden as punishment. Only then would we be happy, and that is how justice would be served. To be fair, if they put Marjorie Taylor Greene on that special counsel, she would be fucking Hunter Biden so quick, everyone's heads would spin. Let's be real. She loves it, okay? She is 100%. She loves doing polyamorous shit. You know, they'd be having the grossest tantric sex. They both be doing crack. Anyway, let's continue.
The ability to investigate this independently. It will allow him to investigate anywhere he needs to. There had been questions about venue in this case because he is the U.S. Attorney for Delaware, and some of the conduct or alleged conduct had taken place in other jurisdictions. It's also a bit of a reversal because both Garland and David Weiss had previously said he didn't ask for special counsel status and all the authority that he needed in this case. But now, according to Garland, Weiss asked for that status on Tuesday, and he was granted that. So as Garland said, it will also mean that David Weiss will be providing a report with any prosecution decisions or declinations at the end of this. And this is something that the House Republicans had been raising as a question here because there were IRS whistleblowers who'd come forward saying that some of their investigative efforts were stymied during this multi-year investigation. So it is something that House Republicans have been scrutinizing, and appointing a special counsel could alleviate some of that scrutiny, but it raises a lot of questions about just what else they might be investigating. And I noted that Garland had said that they will be able to investigate criminal conduct by Hunter Biden, among others. That is a question here of who else they might be looking into. And remember, this investigation had spanned some 5 years and had looked at broad conduct, including foreign lobbying, including potential money laundering, and it had narrowed into the guilty plea that they had reached last month that fell apart in the court hearing. And just now, Dana, we're getting word, I'm looking at a court filing where prosecutors asked the judge to vacate her order asking them to come back and work out their guilty plea because, as they write, this is the prosecutors writing in this motion to the judge that, you know, that order was set in place as they were continuing to work toward a guilty plea. They write, but that is no longer the case. Following additional negotiations after the hearing held on July 26, 2023, the parties are at an impasse and are not in agreement on either a plea agreement or a diversion agreement. Therefore, the government believes the court's briefing order should be vacated. So, you know, that shows us that this deal that they were working toward on tax misdemeanor charges and a diversion on a gun possession is now being torn up. And this investigation is now continuing with the appointment of a special counsel who has broad powers, Dana.
And that really is the key here. That was the turning point, Kara. What happened in that courtroom, that federal courtroom in Delaware, when the Hunter Biden legal team thought they were walking in with Hunter Biden. David Weiss and his team walked in. They had planned to just kind of get a stamp on this plea deal for a couple of misdemeanors and a tax charge that would be diverted down the road. And then it all blew up and it all fell apart for various.
The special counsel news overshadows yesterday's news about the whistleblower saying exactly what Lev Parnas has been saying about Hunter Biden being targeted by Burisma and drugged by Giuliani's Russian goons. Does nobody think that's crazy? That the Fox News pundit Dr. Keith Ablow had one of Hunter Biden's laptops? I mean, I wish people would understand what that means so we can just be done with this. The whole thing is tired. Are you okay? I learned about Fox News pundit Dr. Keith Ablow having Hunter Biden's laptop from watching a 280 segment. I'll send you the link if you want to watch it because I saved it. That's how crazy the story is. What? This is leftist QAnon? No, it's right-wing QAnon. It's another extension. It's not as entertaining as QAnon, but it's like that's actually kind of the problem. That is partially the reason why it hasn't taken a lot of. It hasn't really been like that good of a rallying cry for people. Like, there's not enough momentum behind it. But basically, that person is saying that it's weird that, you know, people had access to Hunter Biden's laptop, blah, 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 whatever. And the laptop did circulate through weird ass hands to get to Fox News and New York Post in general. Is it a hard take to expect accountability on both sides? I mean, I am fully in favor of that. Make no mistake. I think Hunter Biden should serve the time for his crimes. Absolutely. And I do want that same level of care and consideration afforded to the Republican Party and their nepotism fail sons as well. There's plenty more Democrats out there that could get the smoke as well. The issue, on the other hand, is that this is simply a one-sided affair that the Republicans have greatly just tried to weaponize against Joe Biden, and they failed to do so. So it's just not really going anywhere.
Yes, reasons. Fair to say that it was because of that we are where we are.
I mean, Dana, it certainly seems that way. Both the prosecution and Hunter Biden's team, you know, they walked into that courtroom today with a deal that they had signed and agreed upon. I mean, they shook hands in the courtroom at the start of the proceeding, and they actually signed the paperwork then. Now, it was the judge that was pushing and asking questions about it. And where that first hit the snag was about the scope of this tax agreement.
Exactly.
You know, Hunter Biden's team believed that it covered everything that the prosecutors were looking into, including foreign lobbying, including money laundering. And prosecutors said that wasn't the case. It was narrowed to just taxes, to gun, and to drug charges. In the live moments, though, Hunter Biden's team then said, okay, fine, we'll agree to that. And they were moving forward with what appeared to be the guilty plea, but then the diversion agreement on the gun possession hit a snag because the judge raised questions about whether it was constitutional. And that's when she said to both sides, you have 30 days to go back and try to work this out. And the big question has been, would they still agree to those?
What are the taxes charges? I think tax evasion. Isn't this just a fishing expedition? Of course it is. But there's two separate people here, okay? Throwing the book at Hunter Biden and putting him in jail permanently for the rest of his life doesn't mean anything if there is no connection to Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, okay? Beyond just the fact that Hunter Biden is Joe Biden's son, okay? That's the situation. Like, even if this goes through and the special prosecutor finds like additional issues or whatever with respect to Hunter Biden, unless they somehow find real evidence that links Hunter Biden to Joe Biden. Because even if they found out that like Hunter Biden straight up was like getting bribes or whatever and didn't actually declare that he was a foreign agent, right? Like he was working at the behest of foreign corporations, which, by the way, ironic because many people in D.C. don't do this and they absolutely pick and choose, right? They absolutely pick and choose who they apply this to, which they should apply to every single person. Okay? Paul Manafort got in trouble for this. Michael Flynn got in trouble for this. You know, this is common practice for the most part. There was a rapper from like the 90s, remember, who was operating as a foreign agent to the Chinese government. It's yet another one of those situations where like it's something that most people do. It's something that a lot of people do, and then you know, you make a big fuss about it. Pros of the Fugees, yeah. Wait, really? Is there a video on this? Yeah. Like, people sometimes work with foreign governments and don't properly declare that they're working with foreign governments. And I mean, it happens all the time. It is fucked up. There are rules in place for a reason. I don't know why they don't. I don't know why they don't like prosecute this across the board. But yeah, here.
One of the founders of the hip hop group.
I don't want to sidetrack even further. Anyway. Regardless, listen, this is something that a lot of Americans do, American lobbyists do. It doesn't mean that they're like spying or anything, you know what I mean? But it just means that they're working with a foreign government without properly documenting their affairs, and it's illegal. You're not supposed to do that, but plenty do. Most lobbyists do it, and depending on how much in the public spotlight they are, their charges vary from actually going to prison all the way to like a small fine or whatever. Some of this could just be to make Joe Biden generally weaker as a father. Wouldn't you be sad and less effective at your job? Brother, Joe Biden is already a husk, a corpse, a cadaver that they're moving around. What do you mean weaker? Oh man, I'm so sad my son Hunter Biden is in jail. Like, okay. He's like 800 years old. So, as I was saying, the biggest charge would be that Hunter Biden is operating as a foreign agent, right? And he didn't properly disclose it. I think you could probably hit him on that. I don't know the exact details. I don't know in what capacity he was actually working with these foreign companies. And I don't know what kind of access he had to Congress or I don't know what kind of lobbying efforts he actually engaged in. So depending on what it looks like on the American side and what it looks like on the foreign national side, like what his job was, you can maybe make that stick. However, once again, what does that have to do with Joe Biden is the question, right? Because I don't think Republicans give a shit about like tossing Hunter Biden in jail. They care about tossing Hunter Biden in jail with Joe Biden, right? Like they don't give a shit about Hunter Biden in of itself because it's just a means to an end. The end being Joe Biden. That's why this investigation coming to an end, not this investigation from January 6th, but the Hunter Biden investigation coming to a close and all the closed door meetings that they've had have been major duds. And it's gotten a lot of Republicans frustrated because they think, well, why isn't Hunter Biden being prosecuted by this judge for other stuff like, dealing with Joe Biden illegally or taking money from Burisma and then, kicking it up to the big guy. Like they built this narrative around Hunter Biden that was much, much worse than the actual situation on the ground. So now now a lot of Republicans are just like shocked at the lack of charges. They're like, what? Tax evasion and gun charges? What the fuck do you mean? There's got to be something more here. And because of what's going on with because of what the Republican media apparatus is covering versus what is actually happening with like Republicans in Congress and their ongoing investigations and closed door meetings or the actual court case, revolving around Hunter Biden, the reality doesn't match the narrative that Fox News is putting out there. So people are just like a little confused. And so they think, oh, it's just more corruption. What else is new? Right? Anyway, so that in and of itself is a silly story. But this one, on the other hand, is not. The judge that says Trump's right to free speech in the January 6th case is not absolute.
Revealing new details from the first hearing in the January 6th case against Donald Trump. This is the first time we have heard from federal judge Tanya Chutkan, and she has said some really interesting things, telling Trump's lawyers that the administration of justice comes first and that he may not be able to say everything that he wants to in political speeches.
CNN's Caitlin Polans outside the court for us once again. More and more details, Caitlin. If you can, bring us all up to speed once again on what we have heard and from Judge Chutkan, what she's laid down so far.
Well, this hearing isn't over yet, but
I like that, going back to this, but I like that the charges against Joe Biden revolve around like possibly investigating his son and then having his son be arrested on, or having his son be charged with like gun charges and like tax evasion, blah, 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 all this other stuff. It's like this massive puzzle that you need to solve to be able to like potentially get to Joe Biden, and ultimately you don't really get to Joe Biden. There's a bottleneck there. But with Trump, it's like he very openly and very clearly said, knowing full well that it was, you know, not allowed, he very clearly engaged in a criminal conspiracy to defraud the American public and try to fraudulently change a slate of electors, and also potentially utilize violence, and successfully actually utilize violence and an insurrection on January 6th to stop the vote certifications from happening, the ballot certifications from happening in Congress. Like, all of that is so open and shut. He's right in the fucking middle of it. It's just got to be a sad day if you're a Republican. You got to do like 20 different mental gymnastics exercises to be able to make it seem like the criminal justice system is like completely stacked against our brave, bold, beautiful patriots here who have done nothing wrong. And also the Democrats, they are the ones who are doing everything wrong. You know? Awesome.
even the things that she's done so far have given limitations to Donald Trump and made clear that he needs to watch what he says publicly versus what he's learning behind the scenes as he prepares for trial, even though he's a political candidate out there giving speeches and posting on social media. One of the things that she has already said that is going to happen is that when Donald Trump learns any information he didn't know before from witness interviews that the Justice Department did, sensitive witness interviews, he's not going to be able to disclose that. That's an order from the court, and that is an order from the court that is going to be above and beyond any sort of free speech claims that Donald Trump may make. The judge here has been quite clear, saying that his speech is able to be limited. The First Amendment does have limitations to it, and that she is not going to be...
He said it, folks. She said it. This judge hates free speech, folks. She said it. She said it's not absolute. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? It's absolute, folks. Where I come from, it's absolute, except the N-word. There's two different N-words, folks. You can't say either. You can't say either of those words. You'd be able to say it back in the day. Very dangerous.
Doing things based on what is happening in the political sphere. She is a judge. It is separate. One of the quotes that really jumps out from this hearing today, the fact that he is running a political campaign currently has to yield to the administration of justice. And if that means he can't say exactly what he wants to say in a political speech, that is just how it's going to have to be. And then also she says, I cannot and I will not factor into my decision what effect it will have on a political campaign for either side. And so there are still many arguments being made here, and they're talking about how Trump will be able to disclose or not disclose, largely not disclose, information he's learning as he's getting evidence, and his lawyers are getting evidence in this case. And they...
Good luck. Can you imagine issuing a gag order on a man who is ungaggable, okay? He is the throat goat, okay? He has no gag reflex. You cannot stop this man. You will never be able to get this man to not reveal any kind of evidence, any kind of new evidence that is brought up in the case that his lawyers hear, unless you get his lawyers to not show the evidence to Donald Trump, okay? Every single new thing that he learns, he's going to immediately go to Truth Social and yell about, because he thinks this is a court case that he can win in the eyes of the public, which is not wrong. That's the only way you could win this court case. Kind of like you fucking own, dude. Fucking own. Yeah, kind of like me. I'm just like Trump. Thank you. I love Trump. And you're absolutely correct. It's like, what happens if he violates it, though? I mean, I don't know. What are they going to do? Hold him in contempt of court? I mean, that'd be super sick. I just don't know that. I don't know what would happen. There's a lot of unknowns here, guys. I wish I could tell you. Yeah. Are you telling me that the guy that showed Kid Toucher Rock invasion plans won't obey a gag order? Yeah. I don't think. Yeah. The irony is that there's a separate court case happening specifically surrounding Trump refusing to listen to very clear instructions that tell him not to reveal certain kinds of information or to give certain documents back. Kid Toucher Rock, Kid Diddler Rock. That's his middle name. What do you mean? Kid Rock, Kid Diddler Rock. KDR.
Prepare for trial, but also Judge Chutkan is clearly issuing quite a warning to Trump and his defense team that he needs to be careful not to obstruct justices, not to intimidate witnesses, and that is a real thing, a real line that he could cross if he keeps talking publicly about witnesses in this case. She's really tried to avoid it being specifically about any witness in particular. His lawyers have brought up Mike Pence. That's something the Justice Department also had flagged here. But this is quite a clear sign from the judge. And on top of that, they're still working out some details in this situation, how much Trump can review evidence, where he can review evidence, who can be with him, also how they will designate the evidence in this case as it gets handed over. What are the things that Trump specifically can't share more widely versus what can he incorporate into his political speech. But so far, this is quite a set of things that the judge has said, really taking on a lot more than just the legal issues in this case, which I might note have largely been in line with what Donald Trump's lawyers have agreed to or have proposed so far.
All right, Caitlin Polans, don't go far, because we keep getting new reports from inside the courtroom. For standby, if you will, for just a moment.
We also have Paula Reed, who's been inside the courtroom. She's making her way out, so we're going to be able to hear from Paula what she saw and heard inside the courtroom as well. In the meantime, joining us right now is former Assistant U.S. Attorney Nick Ackerman for more on this. Nick, Caitlin has been laying all of this out for us, what has been coming out from court, what the judge has been talking about. Just before we jump into some of her quotes and things we've heard from the judge, overall, what do you take from what we're hearing from the judge so far?
None of this is very surprising. This is a very standard protective order that the government wants. The purpose of a protective order is for the defendant to be able to get discovery and use it for his defense, not to put on a public display or contest the allegations in a public forum. He's already agreed to two protective orders that are almost exactly the same in both the Miami classified documents case and the New York case prosecution. So none of this is surprising. I think she's essentially going to be putting in place.
Oh, yeah, this is Fryer as well. Here you go. Breaking news, bail hearing for FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried left the judge convinced that he had repeatedly tried to influence witnesses against them. The judge then revoked his bail. Now, of course, if there was any fucking real justice in the world, if the justice system was actually not two-tiered, where the rich and powerful got the same kinds of consequences, okay, then Donald Trump would also get a similar kind of approach. I mean, they should behave. They should treat Donald Trump like any other person, right? He's just a guy. Donald Trump comes in this chat at the top of the hour. He's seeing a 3-minute ad break. Unless he subscribes. Doesn't have a lot of money. All the super PACs are actually juicing his lawsuits, so probably doesn't have any money to spend here. Probably will not be able to avoid the 3-minute ad break unless he subscribes for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. He can use Melania or Barron Trump's Amazon Prime account connected to his Twitch account and get one free Prime subscription to use it here. He could also get gifted a sub if he's lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. But two-tier justice system, this won't happen to him. Only reason why it's happening to Sam Bankman-Fried is because he's broke. New Jarvis video, YouTube pranks got worse. Yeah, we'll watch it.
the order that the government has asked for. And based on the comments that I heard, it just reaffirms my opinion that this case is going to trial in January or February of next year. This judge is not taking any blowback from this defendant. They've tried over the last couple of days. If you look at the filings that have been made, they've tried everything to delay this as much as possible, put this over till next week, try not to make it very important in a matter that's pretty perfunctory. So I think the judge has seen through their delay tactics, and she's not going to take any of it. And I think this is a clear message to Donald Trump that he is going to be in the dock in January or February, and a jury is going to be listening to the evidence.
The actual legal rulings she could issue here may be narrow today. Mm-hmm. What she said overall may have a greater impact and may be more expansive, Nick. I'm going to paraphrase here. One of the things she did say is that being a presidential candidate is really no different than any other job. She's going to treat running for president like she would treat any job, which is to say that, you know, the Iowa caucuses don't mean anything more to me than a business appointment that a defendant might have. So don't expect the implication there is don't expect the Iowa caucuses in and of themselves to delay a trial date. She also said the fact that he's running a political campaign currently has to yield to the administration of justice. And if that means he can't say exactly what he wants to say in a political speech, that's just how it's going to be. She's making clear that the politics here won't really impact her legal decisions.
I think that's absolutely correct. I mean, what she is basically saying is today, I mean, as you said before, it's going to be a narrow ruling. She's going to put into place the protective order. Trump is going to get all of the discovery immediately, discovery well beyond what he would be entitled to normally, including witness statements that by law don't even have to be turned over until after a witness testifies. I never did this before in all my years as a prosecutor, never gave out this kind of information this far in advance. She's also signaled that on the 28th of August, when they discuss the trial date, this is going to go ahead quickly. Like I said before, it's going to be January or February. This case is going to move along. She's taken control, and it's so obvious. If you look at the docket sheet, she was responding on.
Okay, this is boring. God damn it.
To the race.
I hate how boring CNN's like regular old normal coverage of the issue is. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm sorry. I'm afraid to report that once again, the libs, they're not doing a good job. They're not doing a good job at all. They're just fucking straight doo-doo. They're straight boring. Oh, my Lord. Okay. GOP presidential hopefuls make campaign stops at Iowa State Fair. Don't you love it? Don't you love it, folks? The Iowa State Fair is back. The only time where we all get together collectively, okay? We all get together and act like Iowa exists as a state. It's great. It's wonderful. Love when this happens once every 4 years. It's the best. They all go to the state fair. They all eat the funnel cake. They eat the corn dogs. You get to see them eating glizzy. Okay? And, you know, they're like, oh, wow. That's a cow. Wow.
For 2024, and the Republican presidential hopefuls heading to the Iowa State Fair, a key stop on the campaign trail. Our senior congressional correspondent, Rachel Scott, is at the fair this morning with the latest. Rachel, good morning to you.
Hey, DeMarco, good morning. Well, consider the Iowa State Fair the biggest stage yet for this crowded Republican field. Nearly every single Republican candidate will be crossing paths here at the State Fair in the coming days, making their pitch to voters, testing out their debate message, flipping pork, and, of course, eating plenty of fried food. We're 5 months out from the Iowa caucuses, and former...
It's so funny because it's always like, it's like so obviously fake, right? Like, nobody gives a shit about Iowa. And the people in Iowa also know that it's fake, and yet they love it. They love being the state that everybody has to pay attention to once every 4 years. Every time. They love it. It is one of their favorite activities is to go out and vote and always talk like, my favorite thing is like Iowa is famous for being like they hold themselves to a higher standard because like they always vote for a unique guy. You know what I mean? You got to win Iowa, you win it all. Except, you know, Trump lost Iowa, didn't matter, right? But it still hasn't stopped the media from covering it like that because, like, you know, Obama won Iowa. That's why. That's why things really changed for him, which there was some truth to. But Iowans love acting like their vote is more important in the primaries than anyone else. So every 4 years, you got to glaze up Iowa. Every 4 years, okay? And anytime cameras are out there, they find the biggest freaks. Like people who are just like, yeah, actually, I'm going to give this Vivek guy a shot. You know, I'm a 2-time Trump voter, former Obama voter, love Donald Trump. But honestly, and it'll always be like, why don't you want to vote for Donald Trump? And it'll be some of the most random things you've ever heard. Like yeah, you know, I don't, you know, I don't feel like voting for Donald Trump due to the fact that, you know, he's lost a little bit of weight, and I don't like that. Or you got a dead person in your room? What's happening with everybody?
President Donald Trump still holds a commanding lead in this race, even in a state that he's barely visited. The former president has only traveled to Iowa 7 times since launching his 3rd bid for the White House. Compare that to Florida Governor Ron.
You guys can unban him. Sorry, I've been getting like extra schizo wave attacks today.
Ron DeSantis, his next closest rival, who has 6 stops alone in the state today, still struggling to close the gap with Trump. As for the former president, he's expected to be at the state fair tomorrow, but campaigning in the coming months is only expected to get a lot harder. This morning, we're learning that special counsel Jack Smith is pushing for the trial date to start in the January 6th case as early as January 2nd of next year. That's just 2 weeks before the Iowa caucuses. This is shaping up to be a very unprecedented election cycle, guys.
That is one word for it. All right, Rachel, thank you so much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
Mayor Pete won Iowa and it propelled him to dot. Okay, technically, we don't know. You know, maybe he didn't win. Pence is getting heckled at the Iowa State Fair. Love that. Love that for him.
Trump 2024. Every day. Pence is a traitor. Anybody that says he has a higher power uses those words. He is not a Christian when you say higher power. We don't buy.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? They're mad at Michael Pence for obvious reasons because he betrayed Donald Trump, but also for some really weird reason. Like, oh, every time you say higher power, that's unchristian-like. That's not my style of Christianity. That's my favorite. Dude, God, I love Hogwatch so much. I love Hogwatch so much. It's just like the state of affairs in America is not good, okay? I know we talk about like teenagers on TikTok. I feel like we're burning the candle on both ends here, okay? On the one hand, lead poisoning and also social media has completely crippled the brains of boomers, where they have basically posted themselves into schizophrenia. On the other hand, similar problems happening with the Zoomers, but not to the same degree. These guys absolutely create incredible content, though. I love they're mad about higher power because A, uses it to hide their religious indoctrination. It's just funny to think that born-again Christian Mike Pence, who absolutely, unironically, is a significantly more serious Christian, okay, than Donald Trump. Like, you're criticizing Mike Pence for not being Christian enough or not your specific kind of Christian while simultaneously upholding Donald Trump, who is absolutely not a Christian at all.
As believers, Pence, you are far from a Christian. Far from a believer. You are far from a Christian. Far from a believer. Look at that. Take a good photo. Right here. This is the winner. And y'all know it. That guy, traitor.
84 degrees in this
Traitor.
Why are you here today? Visit the Van Walt dealer nearest you. Our top locals.
Dude, that's awesome. Pence getting roasted while taking questions from hogs at the fair.
I can't hear you. How has life treated you since Tucker Carlson ruined your career?
Bro, this is literally like gray names in my chat. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, is that a question? He just, you have to just like eat shit from the worst. There's a person who deserves it. It's the Republican candidates for sure. It's just politicians in general. Like, this is, you get what you paid for, brother. You want to be an incredibly powerful individual in the American machine that is going to eviscerate all of these people in very meaningful ways that they do not comprehend. You want to have the keys of the castle. You want to have your hand on the levers that, you know, pull to kill all of these people machine. You just got to sit there and take it. Okay? Love that, though. They're hitting him with a just curious. Gray name chatter. Hey, I have a serious question for you, sir. I have a serious question for you, sir. How do you feel being a coward and a phony and a liar who betrayed the American public? Just curious. Oh, why won't you answer my questions? I'm just asking questions.
Way back. Let me see if I can hear you. How has life treated you since Tucker Carlson ruined your career?
This lady's face is hilarious. Like, what? Iowa caucus voters are why politicians want to send us to die against China. Just wondering, just curious, what's it like being a fucking asshole? I hate you. Not even a question, really. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. Please answer. Just curious.
You know, I had a very sporty debate with that former talk show host from Fox. And I will tell you,
you're a loser.
You know, when some people put out a video from that cut off the back half of my answer, I simply tweeted the whole 3 minutes and said, you know, we used to call that fake news. Look, there's a lot.
Oh my God. You can't respond to that guy, man. You have to be quick. Just be like, who's Tucker Carlson? I forgot, since he got fucking fired from Fox News. And now has to fly to Romania to get an ounce of clout from a sex trafficker, okay? That's it. You got to hit him with something faster than that. The highlight of this is always seeing the photos of the candidates eating fair food like animals. No pork chop on a stick is safe. Yeah, it's my favorite. Yeah, Biden would clap back 100%. Depending on how much baby fetus he has consumed on that day, Biden has the capacity to clap back super hard on shit like that. You know what I mean? Where he'll just be like, listen, fat, how about you eat more pork chops back there at the fair? Do a push-up competition and I'll beat your ass. Dude, Swifties, look at that. Taylor Swift at the Michael Pence political soapbox at the Iowa State Fair. I'm wearing my Taylor Swift merch, dude. Hell yeah.
A lot of talk about Ukraine and U.S. support in Ukraine, and I know old Tucker's been against U.S. support there from the very beginning.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a really solid answer, man. Thank you. You're really gonna win favors in this crowd by saying that. Yeah, I'm out here defending Ukraine better than Tucker Carlson ever could. It's like, what are you saying?
But let me tell you something. I've met Vladimir Putin. Anybody that thinks Vladimir Putin's going to stop if he overruns Ukraine has got another thing coming. If Vladimir Putin overruns Ukraine, it's not going to be too long before he crosses a border of a NATO country where we're going to have to send our men and women in uniform to fight. I stand on the Reagan doctrine that says if you're willing to fight our enemies on your soil with your soldiers, we're going to give you the means to fight them there so we don't have to fight them somewhere else. It's about America's national interest, and they can parse all the videos they want, but you all can go check.
Who wins the charisma battle, Pence or Distinky? Oh, Pence. But it's you're talking about like a fraction, like of a. It's like a sliver of charisma, maybe, versus no like reverse charisma. they're both awful. It's a mid-off for sure. Nobody wins in that situation, but like Mike Pence still, like I've said before, at least knows how to fill time because he was a radio talk show host. You know what I mean? He knows how to speak at least without coming across like viciously gross. If anything, he's just boring. Whereas when you hear Ron DeSantis talk, it's like he's boring. Mike Pence is boring. Ron DeSantis, when he talks, you're like, please get him to stop. Get him to stop. I'll do anything to get him to stop. He needs to not speak ever again. It's so weird. Why is his face doing all these weird things? Like, why is it moving in all these different directions?
Check it out and you can see the truth. Yes, sir.
This is the best Michael Pence heckle you'll ever see.
I'm glad we didn't hang you.
No, he's a fan, dude. I don't think he's heckling him. I think he's a fan, brother. I'm not even kidding. No, that's the most sane Michael Pence supporter, dude. That's the most support he's going to get. Okay? A guy who says, I'm glad you didn't die. I'm glad you weren't executed. Oh, God, there's so much hogwash happening. It's not even, it's unfair. I'm going to vote for the guy with the most impeachments and most indictments because that guy, he knows where all corruption is. Yeah, him, dude. What the fuck? Okay, I got to pee. Oh, God, I love this.
I'm going to vote for the guy with the most impeachments and the most indictments because that guy, he knows where all the corruption is, and this time it's like clean the house.
So with the indictments, does that make you want to vote for Trump more, the same, or less? The more indictments you get, does that make you feel stronger?
I feel like, not necessarily. I just know that like Trump is like, he's the guy that's going to go in and sweep up this corruption. And anybody with a heart and a brain can see what our country is doing. We're the only, I think I'm doing the interview. Have a nice day. Curious about corruption. So the thing is like, our country is the only country with the borders open. But the liberals are like, oh no, the borders are not open. They're completely wide open.
Hey ma'am, I'm with you also. Can I just grab your name?
No.
Oh, you're not going to be part of that?
No.
You have opinions, but you don't want to share your name out.
Well, that sounds like a liberal, right?
No, I'm just asking you, what's your name?
It's Deborah.
Okay, what's your last name? What do you school?
Renee. D-E-B-O-R-A-H. Renee. R-E-N-A.
No Riz Ron can't even get 2 claps.
It's never been better as a result of our decision to keep Florida free.
Oh, not good.
But here's the deal, and our state has never been better as a result of our decision to keep Florida free. You do not force people to do electric vehicles. That will be a threat to liquid fuels, and we will make sure that you have the choice to be able to drive the type of car that you want. You do not force people to do electric.
It's crazy. Did you get her name? Oh, was it Deborah? I missed this because I was, of course, busy.
Hey ma'am, I'm with you also. Can I just grab your name?
No.
Oh, you're not going to be part of that?
No.
You have opinions, but you don't want to share your name out.
Well, that sounds like a liberal, right?
No, I'm just asking you, what's your name?
It's Deborah.
Okay.
Debrussy, baby. Dude, the Debrussy is powerful, dude. What are you talking about? Also, she's right.
How would you?
She's right, okay? She's right. He did everything right, and they indicted him. Let me tell you something. Donald Trump, most indictments, okay, which means he knows where all the criminals are. He himself is one, which is why we're voting for Hunter Biden next time around. In the next election, you keep piling on those indictments against Hunter Biden, we're going to vote for him. You can't stop me.
You end the war over there.
I think it's a great question.
This is a Ukrainian supporter or Ukraine supporter asked DeSantis, how would you end the war there? DeSantis responds with epic word
First,
salad.
let's recognize Joe Biden has brought us to this point. Because what did he did when he became president? He started to wage war against American energy production. Who does that benefit? Russia, Venezuela, Iran. He has a policy of putting the Green New Deal over our American national security. They just announced $6 billion ransom payment to the mullahs in Iran. And those hostages aren't being released. They're just being moved to house arrest. What is Iran doing with the sanctions relief he gave initially and now this? They're funding Russia with all this. So Biden's policies have done more than anybody to embolden Russia to be able to take action.
Oh my God. This man's got a rally on a handicap ramp on an elementary school. Yeah, he's popping off, dude. He's also saying that, like, they're like, what are you going to do to end the war in Ukraine? And his answer is basically, Biden did a lot of, Biden helped a lot with Russia.
And do an invasion. So what we'll do, we will expand, we will open up all our energy resources. That will be a body blow to Venezuela, Russia, and the Iranians. We will be the big dog when it comes to energy production. The price is going to go down, and that's going to inhibit their ability to wage war. We're also going to turn the screws on the Iranians. No sanctions relief.
What is happening? Bro, he asked, how are you going to stop Russia from invading Ukraine? That's what he asked. What is this response? He asked, how are you going to stop Russia from invading Ukraine? What is going on right now? He's like, we're going to hurt Iran. Sick. Thank you. But can I get an answer to my question?
They are the leading state sponsor of terrorism in the entire world. When I was serving in Iraq, the majority of the combat deaths we were suffering were done at the hands of Iranian-backed militia groups. Iran was funding this in Iraq. And so they have more American blood on their hands than just about any country.
Bro, his entire response, I thought like he would somehow pull back and just like go into, I don't know, Ukraine somehow. Nope, just Iran. Nope, he's just like, yeah, we're going to be even worse on Iran. It's like, first of all, Trump kicks your ass on that. I mean, he executed an Iranian leader. So he destroyed Obama's denuclearization agreement. Like, you can never outflank Donald Trump on being mean to Iran. Okay? So good luck.
In the last 20, 30 years. And so you got to turn the screws on them. And then China. China is supporting Russia as well. We need to stop emboldening and empowering China with our foolish policies. There will be a new sheriff in town when it comes to that. And then we need the Europeans to step up and take more ownership of their own security in their own country.
Bro, this is literally fucking Donald Trump. This is just like Trump's policies, man. What's happening right now? I mean, I don't know what the right answer is anyway. I just genuinely don't know how he would be able to get out of this primary with like a unique answer. But this is one opportunity for him to legitimately have a unique answer that's different than Donald Trump, because Donald Trump's answer is like, how do you deal with Russia? He's like, I'll just deal with it. I'll just deal with it somehow. You know what I mean? Which means they got nothing, but oh, here, let's take a look at some more beautiful, bold patriots. Ron DeSantis didn't get the welcome he was hoping for at his first stop in the day of the day in Iowa. This is awesome. Dude, I wish libs had more hogs like this. I think she might be a liberal. I mean, she's wearing a bitches get stuff done shirt. I don't think she's a Trump supporter. She's probably a liberal. Guys, liberals exist. I don't know if you know this, but to be fair, nowadays, like the whole different colored hair SJW shit, it doesn't go one way any longer. Interestingly enough. Goalposts are in perpetual motion. Why hasn't the DOJ appointed a special counsel for the Hunter Biden investigation, says the House Judiciary. Now they're saying the DOJ is attempting a Biden family cover-up on the special counsel. They're like, please appoint a special counsel so that there's no misdeeds. No, not like that. Anyway, let's hear what our big beautiful boy Larry Elder had to say. As you guys know, this was my debate opponent. He's also polling at like 0.000%. Let's take a look.
We need also an executive order to stop all this graft, whether you're the son or son-in-law of a president or vice president. I don't care whether it's Hunter Biden or whether it's Jared Kushner. It is wrong. We're going to stop that. Harry Truman said, if you go into politics broke, a la Joe Biden, and you come out rich, you're stealing.
Wait, Joe Biden is not even rich. He's like the worst person to say that is about. Wait, what? Joe Biden is probably the only American politician where that statement doesn't stick. Joe Biden did not have enough money to pay for his son's cancer treatment. He was about to put a fucking second mortgage on his house to pay for his son's cancer treatment. And then Obama stepped in and was like, no, I'll pay for it. Come on, you don't have to do that, Joe. Which is insane. You want to know why? Because everyone else is corrupt. So is Joe Biden. He's advocated for all of the worst measures. He's advocated for all of the worst ideas. Like, and the fact that he was doing it for the love of the game is mind-boggling to me. Like, how are you going to do all that and still be a broke boy who can't even pay for his own fucking son's cancer treatment, dog? That's crazy. You've been in office for like 65 years. What's happening? Actually, what's going on? Real freak. To be fair, maybe he didn't want his son to recover. No, come on, he loves his son. It's the, no, this was the good son, okay? We're not talking about Hunter. This was the one who, like, you know, served in the military, actually served, not like what Hunter did. He was deployed. This is the good son that had, like, genuine prospects in the American government. Like, he had a future in American government. Here's a Carrie Lake ownage.
Which one of you's from the New York Times? You know there's only two genders, right? There's only two genders, and they know that in Iowa. I challenge the New York Times reporter and the Washington Post reporter to try to milk
He said, I just take pictures, please.
a cow and then try to milk a bull and see how that goes.
Ownage. The ownage is so epic. Why is Carrie Lake here? Can someone explain to me why Carrie Lake is in Iowa? Is she also running for president? What's happening? Also, the fucking Elon Musk's Twitter broke. This is a 43-second video, but there's only like 20 seconds in it. I'd let Carrie Lake try to milk me? Okay, dude. She's popular on Newsmax for her conspiracies about the elections. Okay, but like that doesn't, like, why are they just letting anybody milk cows out there? I thought that was like only for prospects, like presidential prospects. We already saw this. Altercation ensues. The woman shouts, go back to Florida, putting fingers. Hate to see it. We got a new hog talk as well. I want more. Do you guys have any more Iowa Fair stuff? Do you have any more like Iowa Fair content? Whether it's people being heckled. Go ahead and lie to us that you wouldn't fix Carrie Lake. I mean, someone sent this to me and said Larry Elder and Dianne Feinstein at the fair together, and it's just Larry Elder holding up a turkey leg. You don't have to be a politician to milk a cow at the fair. Hassan Lowell, what the fuck? No, that's an honor and a privilege that only is afforded to politicians. Wild times in Iowa. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' campaign has called the cops to stop Rush the Writer. And I, from covering his campaign event today, is at an American Legion in Harlan, Iowa. They don't want you. It is what it is, deputies told us. Wait, what? At the fair tomorrow, what should I ask the big man? Who? Which big man? Are we talking Trump? Oh, here, we were going to...
Socialism, obviously.
Yeah, we'll watch this, okay? Here. More Perfect Union went to... More Perfect Union went to a Trump rally and asked them questions. Here, I'll show you the event in Harlan.
Registered. Yeah, we're registered. It doesn't matter. They said it's a private event. They don't want you. It is what it is. Can they explain why? It's a private event. I don't know. I'm sorry. So let's go this way. Like, you can't tell me why though? It's no, I can't. I don't work for them. Let's go. Like, I'm registered and everything. Let's go over here. We got to go over here off the property.
If the big man is Donald Trump, ask if he wants Hasanabi as a part of his campaign. Actually, Chris Christie too. Whoever, I don't give a shit.
It's a private event. Like, so what was the reason? I don't know. Like, I'm here to cover it. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. It is what it is, okay?
So the campaign asked you guys to come here and tell us not to be here, or what's the...
We're just here keeping the peace.
Okay.
We're just coming to cover and watch. And listen. Well, it's private property. They rented it. It's reserved. You're not allowed on it. Like, we were just at the last event. I've been to like 8 other events across the state. I appreciate that, but I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm just trying to do my job. I understand that. And that's all we're doing.
I was gonna say, and I'm just trying to do mine. Classic.
No, I know you are, but there's gotta be a reason. Like, when you already pre-registered, they got my information, they got my phone number, my email. I don't know. I wasn't at the last event, man.
Classic. Here. Oh, this is good. Why did you commit treason on January 6th? Man asked Mike Pence at the state fair.
Yes. My question is,
why did you commit treason on January 6th? Like, it's treason to not follow Donald Trump's insane desires. I love that. I love that, dude. It's in the eyes of these hogs, it's treason if you just question Donald Trump. Even if you don't have the power, if Donald Trump asks you to do treason and you don't do treason, that's treason. That's how it works.
Why did you commit treason on January 6th and not stand by President?
I'm a veteran, buddy. You shut your mouth.
I love this, dude. You shut your mouth.
And the Red Sox suck.
I'm just
Oh, it's a fair question. Look, come on, people. That's why I came.
Look, I'm just giving you the question.
No, I got you. I'll answer your question. Look, let me take you to January 20th, 2017. I put my left hand on Ronald Reagan's Bible and I raised my right hand. I swore an oath.
Ronald Reagan's Bible, brother. God. This country is fucking so dumb. I'm sorry. Everyone is so stupid. Put my hand on Ronald Reagan's Bible, brother.
To support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. And it ended with a prayer. So help me God. My son, who's a captain in the United States Marine Corps, reminded me one time that it's the exact same oath that he took. It was a promise I made to the American people. It was a promise I made to Almighty God. Now, I know you might have a different impression about what my duties and responsibilities were on January 6th, and I'm happy to talk to you about it. The truth is that states conduct our elections. They do. And once Iowa certifies the elections, when there are questions, you can go to court. Our campaign in 2020 had more than 60 lawsuits in courts around the country. There were also states that conducted recounts under the law. But when all that was done, if you read Article 2 of the Constitution, which I recommend to you very respectfully, Article 2 says once the states send their electoral votes to the Congress of the United States, the Vice President, as President of the Senate, will preside over a joint session of Congress. And what it says is at that joint session, the electoral votes shall be opened and shall be counted. It doesn't say may. It doesn't say you can send them back to the states. It doesn't say you can reject votes. Even though my former running mate and many of his outside lawyers told me that that authority was there, I knew there never was. I mean, look, there's almost no idea more un-American than the notion that any one person...
Boo! Boo, you should have done treason, you fucking coward. You betrayed us, and you betrayed the Constitution that says Donald Trump needs to keep being president for as long as he wants to.
Could pick the American president.
Rhino!
I mean, the American...
Am I the only one who thinks this is staged? This is my very first thought, especially the way the question was worded. You could have asked, why didn't you reject the electors from questionable states or send it back to the states? The question asked like a straw man argument. Do you really think... Twitter blue check mark, $8 spending idiots. You really think that the average Republican wouldn't ask the question like that? Oh, God. We are so far removed from getting health care, okay? We are so far removed from getting health care. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you. It's never happening, okay? Never happening. But also, this stuff is just so sad to watch. Yeah, why didn't you reject the electors from questionable states? You think that's what he's going to ask? You think a Trump supporter who is there specifically to heckle Michael Pence is going to ask a question about January 6th, and the question is going to sound like that? These people are just so delusional. Oh, Pence is going to man the grill. Let's take a look at his form, baby. Let's go. This is one of my favorite parts of the grill, the Iowa State Fair.
Oh, that's not bad.
Here's more DeSantis in Iowa. He's an alien, I swear.
People have different experiences, but I think with me, one thing you can know is, okay, well, why is he... Oh, is that... Sorry.
Dude, he's always so nervous. That's what it is. I think it's the nervousness. It's the nervousness of every moment that really frustrates me. He's so fidgety and so anxious all the time. It's just like he looks like he doesn't want to be there. He's like, ugh, it's sugar, man. That's what's going on in his head. Like when Trump is on that stage, you can tell when the lights are on him, doesn't matter how sweaty he is. He loves every moment of it. He's like, I'm in the spotlight. This is where I am destined to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm destined to be. This is my moment, my opportunity. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to make these guys love every moment. Okay? Whenever our boy, little Rhonda is in the spotlight, he's just like, I don't want to be here. I hate it. Yeah.
That's my phone. I don't know why anyone's calling me. They know I'm here. But, you know, I think part of the question, you know, when you look at people like, you know, why are they running? Okay? And let's just be honest. There's some people that are not running really to be president, right? They're running for, who knows why they're running, but they're running. The only reason I'm running is I'm running to win. I'm running to serve.
Dumbass, say they're running to be in Trump's cabinet. That's why they're afraid to attack him. Me, on the other hand, I'm not holding back because it's the truth. It's what you're supposed to do. Something like that. Jesus Christ, he's so... What was going on with Kaya?
And I'm running to get the job done for you. But I think you can say, why would you want to do that?
Say some people are running because they're running away from prison. Exactly. Some chatter pointed that out. Why are you worried about him getting a leg up? I just can't stop myself from wanting to help. Okay, I put my campaign manager hat on, and I think that's a really good way to like what they could do that would look better is a good juxtaposition to what they are doing that is really bad. That's the reason why I do it for the most part. Whenever he says some dumb shit and I say, here's what you should say instead, which would be better, that's the reason why I'm doing it. Not because like I fucking want Ron DeSantis to win or anything. Because I want to help you understand what would be a better thing to say in that situation that Ron DeSantis is completely oblivious to and is doing a horrible job. You were like, I think I can change him. No. He looks like he's in pain. He always looks like he's in pain. Look at that. Every year since 1999, Bubba Sorensen has painted the Menlo Freedom Rock to honor America's veterans. Bubba's dedication inspired a movement. Today, all 99 counties in Iowa have their own Freedom Rock. It's a rock, man. The fuck? That shit's boring. Trump would look at that rock and be like, oh, beautiful rock. Never seen anything like it. America's got the best rocks. Believe me, folks. You don't see rocks like this in China. Ted Cruz butter cow energy? Yeah. My man posted up next to a fucking rock and was like, look at me with this rock. A cool rock I found. Dude, maybe we're shitting on, and let me say something, okay? Maybe we're shitting on Little Rhonda a little too much, okay? Because my man might have a little bit of neurodivergence. I'm beginning to recognize that he's a little A-worded, okay? He's just maybe this community shouldn't be making so much fun of him for having very clear social anxiety. He's like, I love this rock.
All right, so he's taking questions from himself. Why you want to run? He wants to win. He's in it to win it.
Oh, God. There is just so many things you could do in that situation that you did not do, my friend. Holy moly, it's bad.
Sat down with her yesterday, and she's been neutral in the race so far, but she left open the door to the possibility of offering her endorsement or recommendation later in this cycle. Let's watch.
It's really important that they feel that they have kind of a fair shot and they're welcome here in Iowa. And I want Iowans to have the chance to interact with them.
So you're not ruling out potentially an endorsement at the end of this process?
I don't think you should ever say never, never. You know, I just will wait and see what happens. But I've made it clear, I'm probably looking at neutral, especially at the beginning of this.
And she went on to say that she believes there could be many surprises in this race. She said 5 months is indeed a long time. Of course, I asked her about the indictments facing the former president, and she said Iowans will have to make up their own judgment on that. Well, Dana, I sat down with her yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There you have it. She's endorsing Donald Trump. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's look at this Trump rally and see what happened there. Because a friends of the show, More Perfect Union went to the Trump rally, and what they heard will shock you. This has 1.3 million views. How wonderful.
We'll all agree communism doesn't work.
Damn, this guy's good.